Xayah and Assassins have dominated patch 12.12, therefore their developers released a huge B patch today, so let's take a look at it. Starting off with 1 cost, Ezreal is getting a small buff at 1 star and a small nerf at 2 and 3 star. He was surprisingly strong after the last nerf, and I don't think this will have too much of an impact, but you most likely just want to reroll Karma instead of Ezreal now. Skarner is getting buffed across the board. Although he hasn't felt like the best champ, he hasn't been the worst. This is a nice buff to him, and especially for Astrals, as the early game for that comp has not been the best. Tahm Kench is getting nerfed. He has been by far the best tank in the early game, so this is a really nice change to see. He should still be good, but you might actually consider putting tank items on Skarner now over Kench. Vladimir is getting a much needed buff. This champ is so bad I forgot he even existed in the game. I'm not sure if this is enough for Vlad carry to be a thing though, but I am willing to try. Moving on to 2 cost, Lilia is getting buffed. She will now always ult her target, and she needs 10 less mana to do so as well. Her spell damage also got shifted to be more AoE over single target damage. Overall a nice buff, and we might even see some Lilia reroll with these changes. Qiyana is getting a small nerf to her mana. I really like this change as she casted a bit too often, especially considering how powerful her spell was. Moving on to 3 costs, Diana is getting a large nerf across the board. Now she will have less orbs at every star level, resulting in about 10 to 15% less damage overall. A nice nerf as she was incredibly strong paired with other assassins as well. Lee Sin is getting a small nerf to his damage. At 1 and 2 star, this is a nerf. Some of you might think I'm crazy for saying this, but I think the damage nerf at 3 star is actually a buff. He still deals enough damage to one-shot all the backlaners in the game, so now he will one-shot less tanks, which allows him to actually kick them into the backline to deal AoE at 3 star. Overall, this is a nice change to see though, as an early Lee Sin with Dragonmancers would carry you for the entire early game. Swain is getting nerfed across the board as well. He has also risen in power lately, and this nerf should help balance him to be in line with the other 3 costs. Sylas is getting a really big buff here. On the last patch, Sylas with mages has felt pretty strong, especially at 3 star, so I can already picture myself not being able to kill 3 star Sylas with the tank items next patch. Moving on to 4 costs, Corki gets a small nerf to his spell. Now he needs 10 more mana to cast, but he gets his first cast off a bit quicker. His spell also deals a little less damage at 1 and 2 star, but he should still be good overall. Idis is getting a much needed nerf. Now she will be less tanky overall and give less attack speed. A much needed nerf as she was incredibly tanky. Ornn is getting a decent nerf. Now his spell has less AoE. I thought Ornn was fine. He had an impactful spell that you wanted to dodge, and you still want to dodge it now, but I don't know if a 2-second slow and stun will have that big of an impact when it's split into 2 different corners. Sona gets small buffs to her damage. Maybe this will be the patch where you go full AP Sona carry. Time will tell, but overall I like that you have more of an AP option in Rebels now. Siphon is getting a much needed buff. Now he will deal more damage and also cast more often. He didn't feel great last patch, but he was playable with the right opener and items. Now I might even start defaulting towards Siphon. Xayah gets a much needed nerf. She will be a lot weaker at 1 star now, and at 2 star she should still be powerful. Although she scales less with AD now, so maybe now you go IE instead of Deathblade or Giant Slayer on her. I like that they didn't go too overboard on Xayah, as I still want her to be playable next patch. There are no changes to 5 costs, so let's move on to traits. Assassins are getting a big nerf. Now they jump first, so if you backline tanks, they will fight the assassins right away. That is the intention with this change, so we'll see how it works out in practice. But if it does, clumping will be the primary counter to assassins now. Astral is getting a buff. Now you will see a minimum of 3 Astral units in every Astral shop. You can still hit 5 or 4 Astral units in there, but I don't know what the exact odds for that are, or if those 2 odds got changed at all. Overall, a great change to see, as this trait has struggled a little too much last patch. Cannoneers got buffed at every level except for 2. A nice change considering Corki got a small nerf. Now you might actually consider going deep into this trait late game. Dragonmancer is getting nerfed and buffed. The way this trait works is that it gives more AP and HP based on the star level of the other Dragonmancer champions. This is mostly to hit 6 Dragonmancers if you hit it early with only 1-star champions. Late game, it is about the same level or even stronger if you have all of them 2-star and some 3 stars. Overall, this is a nerf though, as you'll be weaker until you hit the 2 and 3 stars, but once you do, you will be even stronger than you were last patch, and that's a really nice change to see. Revel deals a little less damage at 2 and 3 and deals more at 5. This is overall a nerf since you are rarely running more than 3 Revel, although some reroll Revel comps might pop up now because of this. Scalescorn is getting nerfed at 2 and buffed at 6. I think this change is fine as it helps keep Olaf and Diana in line, and with the Lilia buffs as well, it might have been too strong if they didn't touch it. Whispers are getting a buff at 4, 6, and 8. A nice change to see, as this was something you never invested in unless you were playing Siphon, and therefore it's another really nice buff to the Siphon comp. Moving on to items, Giant Slayer is getting a nerf. A fine change as literally every single carry wanted this item. So with this nerf, it might open up some more builds. Since they nerfed a lot of the tanks this patch, it's a great change that I'm overall happy with. Sunfire Cape gives 100 less HP. This item felt great as it had almost half a Warmox in it and also gave great anti-heal. A nice change to see as almost everyone was slamming this item in the early game. Moving on to augments, they are removing Dragonmancer Heart. This silver augment felt insane as you could drop a worthless unit for something better, so I can definitely see why they removed it. Astral Soul is getting removed, which is nice to see, as it was the biggest bait of all time. Goodbye and good riddance to that augment. There's also one bug fix, and now you can't abuse Crown of Champions anymore, which is nice to see. I won't predict too much on how the meta plays out as this patch is already live by the time you're seeing this video, but overall I'm happy about most changes in this patch. They nerfed every comp that was strong and buffed every comp that was weak. I am a little scared of 3-star Silas though, especially after the Giant Slayer nerf, but we'll see how it plays out. If you are interested in a tier list for this patch, I will make an updated one this weekend, so subscribe if you are interested, and like the video if you enjoyed watching. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.